but it's over 1,000. It's,
We're on.
oh, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Sorry about that. I was talking to Brian, and they sprung it on me. I wasn't paying attention. Good morning. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron and Brian here, and didn't get a countdown, so. Oh, you did? I didn't know my mic thing was off. That's why. Sorry about that, folks. Well, we got a fast main track to Peter. No matter what I'm up to, we got a $200,000 gross jackpot guarantee. That is for sure. What I do is never for sure.
200,000. Second day in a row, right? We had live tickets in the finale yesterday that didn't come to fruition, so we're back today. $200,000. That'll kick off in race 6. I know you got a ticket, and boy, I'll tell you what, people have been threatening to hit this thing, so get involved. It's another tough sequence today as well.
And there's some fantastic handicappers out there because these things have not been easy with these full fields that we've had to deal with over this weekend from Friday right till today. So good luck in your handicapping. Brian's been doing an excellent job. He got his long shot to win yesterday, so we'll see if he can do it again today. Mine, not so good.
My long shot was 20-1 yesterday. I hit that, and I think that was the only race I had in the Rainbow Six. That's how hard it was.
There you go. Makes a good point. So let's get right to Brian's early pick 5 ticket. Sorry about that little misstep at the beginning.
We're bobbing and weaving here. Lost 2 top picks in the first 3 races. So we go 5 deep, in this tough maiden special. Maiden claimer to kick it off today. We got a single in race 2. Royal Squeeze is going to be a heavy favorite, especially with Wicked Temptations coming out of that race. Then a 3x4 kind of middle double. We'll go Witch of Love on top in the 3rd race. In race 4, a good 2-year-old maiden special weight, and we're going to show the replay on the lightning round of the horse that just ran off the screen yesterday. Take note of that one. Mariachi Crush on top for me there, and then here's another single to get out. My Man Flint for Rohan Crichton, $30. It's a tricky sequence, especially with a couple horses that came out of it that I think were very logical.
Jesus Rios will be riding My Man Flint for Rowan Crichton in that race number 5, which is the race right before the Rainbow Six starts. The Rainbow Six today with that 11 race card will kick off in, like I said, race number 6. Getting to the first race, about 5.5 furlongs on the Peter Maiden claim is 3-year-olds, 12-5. Full field of 12, scratch the 13 Cajun Red. And we both had some interest in Eternal Flame, which has its claiming tag carved in half today. Tracked the pace, finished 6th behind a pair of next out winners. So I found the stat on Gilberto Zerpa with horses taking a 50% drop in claiming price in sprints. He is 17 for 45, 38%, 53% in the money, and 181 is the return of investment.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
38%. And we get Elsa Morrison here, too, who's been just in top form. Had a 3-bagger on Friday when we came back. So, boy, you know, that's a good thing. She's just good to see her riding so well. And picking up a lot of mounts for barns like this. You know, riding for Safi. Now we got Gilberto Zerpa. So it's good to see. And she's been putting horses in the right spots, Ronnie, consistently.
And well, I used the number 7, Pepito in second, who's stretching out to 5.5 furlongs. Had some trouble in its last race.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it. I'm kind of, you know, a little over and done with Pepito, but we got to show this here because he did have a trip. He's a 6-horse down inside here, and you know, we're 12-5 maiden claimers in here, and he just didn't have a seam here to go. And when he finally did get free, you know, I did, to his credit, I do think he ran on. He chased gamely. You know, he needs to go through here now, and there's just no room to go for Edgar Perez in this particular spot. And now he's going to finally, after kind of bobbing and weaving a little bit and giving up first run to several of them, gets tightened up on here again, too. I mean, this is just a brutal trip. He does, to his credit, keep on keeping on. Maybe if he gets clear sailing, he can finally break through. 11 starts. You kind of know what you're getting from Pepito, but to his credit, he ran a lot better than it looks last time.
Yeah, Miguel Vasquez is going to jump aboard this afternoon, so that's always a plus. Miguel riding in great form once again this week. The number 8 for me, Can't Be Broken, is giving one more go at trying to break maiden. It's solid effort from a tough post. He stalked her out, but he's sort of an also-ran type.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, is he going to break through, or are we just going to kind of keep that, you know, get that kind of race, the 49s, a 52 type of buyers? Probably not going to cut it today, but maybe he finally gets there.
What about Rock Solid Words before we flip the page?
Yeah, I mean, it's another one that's kind of in the mix in here, and at least this one is you know, not a better post today, but I look at that race 2 back. We're second off a little bit of a layoff. The blinkers come off. The Lasix goes on. Maybe that's one. Only 0 for 3, too. I think that's a big deal in a race like this.
Yeah, and that was a nice performance from that post last time out. Race number 2 this afternoon, 6 furlongs, and this is for claimers 3 and up, $6,250. Had 2 early scratches of the 7 and the number 8, Wicked Temptations, you alluded to, so it makes the number 4, Royal Squeeze, look really good in here.
Yeah, I liked Wicked Temptations in here. We were going to show the replay. It's moot now because he's out, but Royal Squeeze 7-5 on the morning line, which I agree with, is now probably 3-5 in here. There's just, you know, if he runs anywhere close to that race last time, he's going to wallop this field because, especially with the scratch of Wicked Temptations, there's no one in here to run with him.
You know what I like? He added to his impressive record when the Hard Luck Centennial won for the 3rd time this year. Yeah. So he's still winning races in bunches. He's a 15-time local winner. Marcos Meneses. I bumped up. I had the same. I had Wicked Temptations in second, so I bumped up Loud and Proud is dropping a notch. Turning back today, dutifully, but failed to reel in that winning machine. Star Wancho wins races in bunches. That was an $8,000 claim of contestant at 7/8 of a mile.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely in the mix. The thing is, if you can land on an exacta partner and punch it a few times, you might get some value because after Royal Squeeze, I have a feeling the betting public's going to struggle figuring out who they want next.
Let's go to race number 3 this afternoon. 5 furlongs, about distance on the Tapeta. Maiden claiming fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Scratch the number 9 in here, Shared Mischief. I originally, and still do, have the number 4, Witch of Love, like you do on top, who's dropping to the 16 level today. Went up, set the pace, finished 3rd against 25 maidens, going 5. For Victor Barboza Jr., you got the apprentice Franklin Keller.
Yeah, I scratched in here, but she was certainly a major player in an A. You just see the form, you see the dropping class. This could be the day for her because, to her credit, she's been running pretty okay against better horses, and just maybe now on the drop is the breakthroughs coming.
Yeah, and the 5 big surprises returning from the layoff with Lasix added, dropping to this level. First start, finished 3rd in front of a trio of next out winners. So it was a good race back in August. Daughter of Uncaptured debuts on the Tapeta. So that's the unknown for Miguel Vasquez.
Yeah, and it's good to see Miguel back. He's ridden this Daughter of Uncaptured all 3 starts, and now he's back again. Dave Brady puts Lasix on. That could help a lot.
I think those are the logical 2 in race number 3. 4th race this afternoon is about 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Maiden special weight, 2-year-olds. Lost my top pick in here with their dad, who I thought was going to run very well. So now we'll go with Eddie Plesa Jr. with the 5. Cooler King, who I bumped up. Son of Uncaptured, debuting for Eddie, who's 21% with his freshman runners. You're getting Kevin Krieger. They hooked up for a nice, with your long shot, actually, for 20-1 yesterday. And just one of the bonds that you know is going to figure somewhere in here.
Yeah, without a doubt. Look at that work on July 8th. It was really, really snappy. The bullet there, 47 and flat. That's a serious move. And then looked like Eddie dialed it back a little bit on the 15th. And then I would think this horse is ready to fire a big shot, especially, as you mentioned, with the scratch of Dear Dad.
And the number 2, Mariachi Crush, you leave Foster out at your own risk. His horses might not look good the first start, but they run good in the second start.
Well, that's it right there, Ronnie. And the other thing, too, is, you know, Fausto won the stakes here yesterday. He brought this horse up to Keeneland. Now, I know she was 40-1, and he was 40-1 and didn't do any running that day. He did have a slow start, lost about 3 lengths at the start. You know, this is going to be a group he's going to appreciate a lot more, and Fausto's not a guy that wins at first asking either in the barn. Everything the barn has sent out at this Royal Palm meet has been very, very live, and kudos to him. We're going to show it, but in the lightning round. But to get Omi Axel to come back after the total dud last time on the turf, comes right back to win his stakes. Well done.
One other horse I wanted to touch on was the 4 Macazan, who's a gelded son of Kozan, debuting for Ralph Nix. 11 workouts showing over the track here in preparation for this first start. The barn 21% with their Tapeta runners. Sonny Leone had the win. I think he won the first yesterday, so he'll be in the saddle. And Ralph, you leave him out too. He's another guy with 2-year-olds. With the 2-year-old first-time starters, you got to watch.
Yeah, without a doubt, a homebred here for Stonehenge, and the Kozans are very precocious. And it's Sonny Leone. I go out of town for a weekend. I come back. We got a Kentucky Derby winning jockey in the gallery. Pretty cool to see.
Race number 5 this afternoon is about 1.70 miles on the Tapeta. Claimers 3-year-olds are 4 and up, non-winners of 2 races in like 12-5 down to 10. Scratch to 5, Colonel Jackson. If I remember correctly, my man Flint was one of your singles.
Yeah, it was a single. And you know what? It's a somewhat of an aggressive single. He's 4-1 on the morning line. It's a race where you could go many, many different ways in here. But you know what? I like the class drop for Rohan. He claimed this one for 20. Didn't really fire right back for 20. So I think the drop is going to help. He had a real trip 2 back as well. I like the post here. We're tactical. As you mentioned, Jose Rios is going to ride here, Jesus Rios. And I just think this horse on the drop, Ronnie, in a spot where maybe Cadet Corps is the other one to fear. I like my man Flint.
Yeah, my man Flint, for all the reasons you mentioned, just that so-so 6 first after claim, so they put this horse maybe where it belonged, all along 12-5. The number 2 Cadet Course, as you mentioned, going to try and make it 2 in a row, and 3rd win overall after responding to the drop down with that victory going 8.5 furlongs. So I found the stat with Joe Orsino, winner last out, route races on the Tapeta just over the last couple of years. He's 5 for 27, 19%. 56% in the money, 134 is the return of investment. So pretty good stat on that horse. If you don't want to single my man Flint, I don't think he's the one to beat. Maybe go with a horse like Cadet Corps.
And you mentioned it too, one of 2 horses in this race that has 2 lifetime wins. The rest of these, including my man Flint, these are 1-fers. That's a big deal, not something to overlook in your handicapping.
And you know, when you're handicapping this race, maybe 8 majority rules, maybe have found that spot where he could notch the elusive second victory. He's had 19 chances with that 1 win. He dueled for the lead. He finished an improved second last time out for Ernesto Ochoa, Jose Morelos. Usually fruitful 3rd start back from the form cycle. I'm thinking this side of the try or super.
I think there's a reason we both got him in 3rd down there. We'll just leave it at that.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we will have my Rainbow 6 ticket.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. They won't let
Very seamless that time.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me forget my faux pas up there in the broadcast room up there, and rightly so. So the 6th race, hey, you like full fields? You came to the right place. It's going to be a mile on the fast main track, 3-year-olds and up. But it's also where the Rainbow 6 starts. And let's show you my ticket of $48.60. Similar ticket that I had yesterday. Why? Because I think these races are wide open. So I'm going to take a chance with that. But we'll talk about the 6th in a couple of moments. 3 deep in race number 7. My long shot today, I don't know how much of a long shot because there was a scratch in there. Kenya Sun, one of my favorite angles, a horse that's undefeated at 7 furlongs. Hardly Social, perfect. Kimberly S. I added in 3rd after the scratch. Race number 8, 3 stat, 10 Awesome Crusader, and 7 Nothing Comes Easy for Ralph Nix. In race number 9, Mediarito, I think is the major player in there, but I use King Theo and Fly the W for Dan Peter. And race number 10, I'm going with Gatsby. I'm taking a shot in here. No window changes. Probably going to be the favorite and the one to beat. I just think, you look who Gatsby's been facing. We'll talk about that race number, knocking heads with Willie Boy. You got no shot with that horse there. And then in race number 11, I go 3 deep, and I think Hard Spun Woman might be the one to beat.
Yeah, this is a bold ticket. That's a bold single on your part, too. And we'll get to it in a second, but just hitting on it. Gatsby finally, I think he showed some signs of life last time. Maybe if he cycles back around, gets to his best, that you might be onto something there.
The 6th race, as I mentioned at the top, a full field of 12. It's 1 mile maiden claimer for 3 and up, $12,500. And we both started it with the number 10, Den Street, and I think you have a video you want to show?
We got a lot going on here because there's 3 of them coming out of this race. So we're going to cue it up here. Den Street is the 9. Here's the start. Thanks, Bob. Here's the start. This isn't good at all. And then we're just behind the 8 ball here. We're behind the field, okay? And now I'm going to say a couple things. That's not ideal. Now, here we are rolling into the far turn, okay? Pipia de Linda is the 4. Good work here, Bob. Epic Run is the 6. And here comes Den Street into your picture in a little bit. Now, this was a race that did fall apart, okay? So he was flow aided. There's no doubt about that. But, boy, after that start, Ronnie, and again, we've talked about this a lot. He's a 12-5 claimer here. Right. He could have easily called it a day. But now here he goes wide on the outside. I thought it was a pretty good effort to be 4th. He's going to flatten out late. But don't forget now, he had to work really hard just to get to that position. So I think it's predictable that he flattened out late here. If we can break running today under Miguel, and it's a big jockey upgrade too. We get the best jockey in the colony now, the leading jockey who's going to run away with the title here. It's a big move. Let's break today, and we'll take our chances. The one thing I have to be fair and add, boy, if Astral Weeks is drubbing you, that's a little dicey. So, again, this could be a spread race.
Yeah, and trained by Rohan Crichton. I did go with, we have the same exact super.
TV
we don't
here,
do this very often. The number 2 Global Empire is cutting back to the mile on the main track, rallied to finish 4th, was the even money favorite for Louis Roussel, Lionel Reyes handling the surface, which logical contender.
Yeah, I was a little behind in my work, so I just went onto the website and grabbed your picks, you know what I mean?
Like you do most days.
Like most days.
And an Epic Run here. Well, he can tell you about it because he already read what I wrote, so.
Well, Epic Run, I will say this. Epic Run got back to a main track last time and was a pretty good second. You saw him. He was the one that kind of stuck around a little bit as part of the pace fray. Maybe you can move him up a little bit.
Let's go to race number 7 this afternoon, and this one is 7 furlongs, claiming fillies, 3-year-olds, 4 and up dominants of 3 in life, $6,250. So I think a major scratch, a horse that some people might have had some interest in, the number 2 Ever 3, with for Antonio Sano, who's starting to win races in bunches here. I'll start it off. I don't know if you used my horse on top.
Pick 5.
Oh, we'll get the pick 5 ticket. Yeah,
take a look at it
you
here.
did use my horse on it.
I did. Yeah, I think you have to. It's a spread race. There's a couple spread races in here. Race 8 as well. I got Italian American. That's a bomber for me today. We'll show a replay. I don't think that horse had a fair go of it on debut. Here's the single. My best bet, King Theo for Aubrey Mirage off the claim. 3 deep in race 10. The top pick is No K No. I'm going to try to get him right back on the main track this time for Fausto Gutierrez. And then I love when people call me while I'm on the while we're on the air, Ron. And then we go 2 deep in race 11, 7-5. Stellarator has been threatening to run a good race. Maybe the breakthrough happens today.
Yeah, Dave Browdy, the trainer, Edgar Zayas in the saddle, getting back to race number 7 here, where the late pick 5 is going to kick off. Kenya Sun, undefeated at 7 furlongs. So, I get a big check there, which includes the maiden victory. Here's why I think we're back. Maiden victory from the rail, albeit it was last December. Stretches out, broke awkwardly from the inside before rallying to finish 4th. Again, similar going 6 furlongs. It's Victor Barboza Jr., Miguel Vasquez named to ride. I think things are going to turn around a little bit with the scratch of the 2 in here. But that was my reasoning in there. I just went back and said, well, this horse broke awkwardly last time, but there's proof right there in paper that this horse could win at 7 furlongs from the rail. So that's why I made it my long shot.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is the winner got loose last race, Sweet Penelope, and she just ran off. So I think the fact that Kenya Sun now hopefully gets a little better pace, and I don't really see anyone shaking loose in here. I think it's going to be a tight-knit group. I think she's a major, major player. Getting Miguel as well is certainly not going to hurt.
Well, this your long shot today, Queen Domino?
This is it.
Yeah, 15-1 with Chantal Sutherland for Rohan Crichton.
Yeah, so that's pretty good right there. You got Chantal and Rohan teaming up 22% together. You got to dig a little bit. You got to kind of work with me on this, but let's draw a line through the Tapeta 2-turn races and the 2 races most recently. Let's draw a line through the sloppy race 3 back. Let's focus on the fast main track race 4 back behind 2 next out winners. That race puts this horse in the mix with these. She's going to be a square price, and there's a lot of horses I don't really trust in here either.
Yeah, I mean, you're just looking for a price. That's why you had that spread. Hardly Social dropping to the 6,250 level. That's the number 7. Turns back to 7/8 on the dirt. A couple of even performance against better, going around 2 turns on the Tapeta. Yeah, okay. Jose Reyes and Lionel Reyes teaming up together. We'll see how that runs.
This is turf and Tapeta, right? I mean, look at her main track races are just not very good, and maybe they better off the big figures. I get that. And I wouldn't be stubborn enough not to use her in a horizontal play, but boy, I don't know. She just doesn't have good dirt form.
You used the number 6 in there perfectly, Kimberly S. What's the trainer of that?
Yeah, I think we got to use her a little bit in here. She's in for 8 last time, drops as well. So the Goodman Barnes got her going pretty good. Tough to improve off Cesar Figueroa. We'll see what we get today.
Race number 8 this afternoon, about a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. You can tell it's Sunday here. Maiden optional claim is 3-year-olds and up. If you're not a Florida bred, you run for that $40,000 tag. Scratch the number 3 horse in Inez's Hats. Interesting name. We'll go with that. And I went with the number 3 horse. I'll start it here with Stat. A game second, again, in his previous route race against Similar on the Tapeta. Goes back to the all-weather surface after showing speed and yielding late. Was the favorite that day in a pair of route races on the turf. Saffy Joseph Jr., 25% with the Tapeta turf angle, and he's got Edgar Zayas handling the surface change, and that 25% has been that percentage for the last 3 months.
We got a stat on Stat, don't we?
Yeah.
Let's check it out here. Stat
Turf
on Stat.
but this is roots. I narrowed it down. Turf to Tapeta roots. He's 9 for 43, 21%, 60% in the money. 264 is the return investment. That's just over the past year. So the other one is all distances. This was just route races on the Tapeta.
Yeah.
Turf to Tapeta.
A lot of burned money on Stat.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see what we get today. I think the race goes through him. I don't have any doubt about that. Clearly the horse to beat, but he's got to show up too. Maybe getting back to the Tapeta. I think the race on the Tapeta probably was his best race. He's got to prove it today, though.
And you went with Italian-American here, and the 15-1 on the line broke from the rail last time. Well, didn't break from the rail
Didn't
last time.
break from the rail. We'll show the replay. I mean, this horse, like I said, just didn't have a fair go of it at the start, and it just takes a left-hand turn here, basically, and that's not good. So, okay. Throw the race right out. What I thought was interesting, Ronnie, he was 9-2 in this race, okay? They bet him a little bit that day. Smokin' Bow was a strong favorite. Odds on, I do believe, Royal Harry, the third-place finisher, comes back to win. They seem to like this horse a little bit that day. Now we stretch out. We know the American Pharaohs, A, they want more distance. B, they've kind of been more turf than dirt, so maybe the Tapeta works for this horse. I'm taking a stab, and again, it goes back to my overall point of this race where, yes, the race goes through Stat. I just don't trust Stat.
Italian-American, nice 15-1 on the board with Kevin Krieger. The number 10 horse in here, Awesome Crusader, has been stuck in second year, going both long and short on the turf. Goes back to the Tapeta, hoping to change in surface. Helps improve that also-ran status for Ralph Nix. He's solid with the turf to Tapeta angle, 17%. And, you know, the leading rider, Miguel Vasquez, is going to hop aboard.
Boy, he's picked up some serious mounts today, right? I mean, horses he didn't ride last time, he's on today. And, yeah, this one's looking for a breakthrough. 0 for 12, 6 second-place finishes.
And, you know, the number 5, you had some interest in anthracite, Samuel Camacho Jr.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken the maiden special weight drop, and the only time he ran on Tapeta was against special weights. Tyson was pretty good in game that day for Todd Pletcher. The runner-up comes back to win. He's going to like the class drop a lot in here.
And Ralph Nix also has the number 7, nothing good comes easy. So you got that with Chantal riding that. So the old adage of the uncoupled entries, does that rear its head? We'll see when we get to race number 8. 9th race this afternoon, about a mile 70 on the Tapeta starter. Optional claim of 4 and up, started for 8 or less. Well, the optional tag is 16. Scratch the number 3, Chucky. And I believe that this King Theo was your single, right?
Yeah, this is my best bet of the day. I understand Meteorito dropped them pretty good, 2 back. I get it. But now we go off the claim for Aubrey Mirage, 25%. The barn is just on fire at the Royal Palm Meet here. And he got back on the beam, and he won last time. So he claims him off a win and rises him in class in a spot where he can't be claimed. And you know, I would think he knew darn well Meteorito was going to be in this race, and he's not afraid. So I think King Theo on the barn switch. Those 2 out of the last 3 races have been really, really good. The only problem, obviously, is the one that he lost to Meteorito.
And Aubrey makes it a family affair. He has Romero Mirage in the saddle this afternoon. Going back, you know, the Meteorito was looking to make amends after losing a tough one. He was beating that nose at the 4-5 favorite at this level and distance last time out for Chantal, who gets the return call today. You know, this horse ran a winning race. It was as simple as that, just got nosed out at the wire. So coming right back with Meteorito to bounce back. And King Theo, for all the reasons you mentioned in there. And then we both had the number 7, Fly the Double, try and make it 2 in a row. Duel from start to finish last time out and held on gamely to defeat Meteorito. That was the one who beat her by a nose last time. And Dan Peters, the trainer, Jose Morelos. So you got a lot of horses here banging heads once again.
It's like, oh, yeah, by the way, Fly to the W won the race, by the way, you know.
Yeah.
But can he keep going forward? You see it in the form. To me, he's a candidate for more regression today, where Meteorito and King Theo, I think, are more likely to fire their shots.
That's sort of the way I see it, too. That's why you so, well, he won last night. Now, why not put it right back on top? It's tough to win 2 races in a row, especially when you just got it by that nose.
Yes.
So race 10 this afternoon is a 6 furlongs allowance optional claim of 3-year-olds and up. Optional tag is $62,000. This is the feature race on Sunday. Scratch the 3 Golden One. And I went with the number 6 Gatsby, as you know, is my single today. I'm taking a shot. Listen, returning to the allowance optional claiming ranks after facing Willie Boy. That was in the Grade 3 Smile Sprint and in the Big Drama. But keep going down, plus hard knocking miles ahead in the $150,000 Gulfstream Park Sprint. He spotted perfectly for Carlos David. Sonny Leone is going to be in the saddle. I think this horse classes up perfectly in this spot.
I agree. Carlos won the nightcap yesterday, and if maybe, just maybe, he's got Gatsby going back the right way, and as you said, Ronnie, you look at those back races, if we see the old Gatsby that we know, he's going to win this race, period. And you're going to get a square price on him, too, because there's a lot of different ways you can go in here. You've got the class and the comebackers, Wind of Change and Mr. Luigi. Listen, Gatsby, to me, showed signs of life. And, you know, you mentioned it, too. Willie Boy is you know, aiming for the Breeders' Cup Sprint.
Yeah, I mean, you know, winning your in thing. So you know, there's other ways like you went with the number 4, No K No, you know, for Fausto Gutierrez. And every time I don't pick Fausto, he wins. So you're probably going to win this race.
And here's Miguel again, right? And I think this horse might get overlooked for 2 reasons. 32-1 last time, but with our leading jockey, by the way. And, you know, he's been doing the turf thing. But dig a little bit. His dirt races, they stack up nicely with these. There's a lot of speed in here. I think Miguel's going to be able to work out a trip and get first run just off of it.
When you handicap this race, and, you know, just right first, the horse that you have to really look at is the number 7, Wind of Change, the Brazilian bred. He's been training sharply in preparation for the first start since setting the pace weakening to finish 5th in the 7 furlong Grade 3 Mr. Prospector back in December. Safi sharp with this kind of layoff. Edgar Zayas returning. He's a pretty classy 7-year-old.
He's very, very good. You know what? There's a couple things to note. He's 1 for 7 on our main track. That means he's 7 for 18 everywhere else. Ronnie, he's got 8 wins on the dirt. 7 of them were on off tracks. Well, we're not off track today. He's 1 for 12 on a fast main track. If you're looking to beat a horse like this, today is probably the day.
And Mr. Luigi is back locally, and you pick all the Italian-named horses for some reason. So this one was in the Mahoning Valley Sprint, in which he finished third, but was disqualified during the stretch run.
Yeah, I mean, Antonio's not a guy that's going to bring him out of town a lot, and he brought him up to Mahoning Valley for a big stakes. He ran very, very well. He's back. Another horse with some class, but another horse coming off a long layoff, too.
Race 11, a mile and 16th, about on the Tapeta Maiden Claimants Phyllis Advanced, 3-year-olds and up, 12-5. Nice full field of 11, no scratches. I went with the 10, Hard Spun Woman, dropping a notch, looking to make amends. Crossed the line first before being disqualified and placed second in that maiden race. So this horse knows how to win. We saw it, just doesn't know how to keep it straight. Mike Maker, Sonny Leone.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right there. I mean, won last time and probably was best last time, but, you know, got taken down. She's a huge threat. I just didn't like this outside draw and the underlaid price.
And you went with Stella Raider, who figures in there.
Absolutely. I mean, Stella Raider's threatened to break through. She's only run 6 times and hasn't run that many times on the Tapeta routing. So last time I thought she ran very, very well, all things considered.
And let's get right to our final lightning round of the weekend. And as you alluded to, that Fausto Gutierrez had a pretty good day yesterday.
Yeah, you've got a good handle on how to pronounce this name, too. And I didn't pick her. And 6-1, an impressive job getting her to rebound after a turf dud last time. She was good. She was game. They could have ran around 3 times. Ronnie, Miss Uella wasn't catching her.
Yeah, I'm trying to copy Pete all the time because he's the man. And I think it's Omichita is what he says. But Pete does a great job. And that was, held off the favorite Miss Uella and that Miss Gracie. That was a nice performance. And we were both suspect that the horse would bounce back after that clunker let 2 races, race before.
No doubt, and Fausto, to his credit, got her to come right back. Now, earlier on the card, a very, very impressive, that was the race with the expensive Boldoro horse in there. That was just okay. The winner was not just okay. This runs for you off the screen at 13-1.
Yeah, Florida Sire Stakes there, especially with Kathleen being the trainer. You know, that looks like, I don't know if this one will be ready for the first one, but Kathleen does an excellent job. She's won numerous Florida Sire Stakes races, and this one could be special.
Yeah, look, I mean, that was a dominant performance over a pretty good group as well. Best bets and long shots here for me is a little later in the card with King Theo, and you've got...
In race number 10, Gatsby going for it with 5-1 on the morning line. Your long shot.
Queen Domina early.
Yeah, and you've been doing great. You had one you win yesterday at a big price. And mine is in race number 9, I believe it is. No, race number 7, Kenya's Son, 6-1 on the morning line. I don't know if we're going to get 6 now with the scratch in there, but there's a lot of different ways you can go. So good luck with all your selections. And as I mentioned, we're going to turn it over to Master Pete Aiello. He will not screw up the names like Brian does all the time. So we'll be back later on.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.